Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome once again to another ranking from me, where today I rank my top 5 worst movies of 2023. Yep, the top 5 worst of 2023. You heard that right. So, like I said in the best video, I've had a very difficult personal year, and I've had a lot of emotional things to deal with, as well as my university. So, I didn't really have time to do YouTube anymore, and I initially quit this channel, but then now I've come back to restore this channel. So these rankings, the top 5 best and worst of 23, were kind of shelved for a bit because I didn't know if I'd have time to do them, and I initially thought, because I've quit, I'm not going to bother doing them. But no, I thought before the 2024 list comes out, I need to update this and actually finish this. So here we are. And also, much like my other lists, this is purely subjective. It's just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine, but please be polite in the comments below. If you are not polite, you shall be removed from the comments section. Ye be warned. Thank you. So, we can all be friends here, can't we? Right? Fellas? Ladies? Okay. Well, let's give it a go anyway. So, in order of personal preference, okay, so kicking off the list, number 5 on the top 5 worst movies of 2023, Peter Pan and Wendy. Oh, fuck, no amount of pixie dust can fix this shit. Fuck me. Much like the other Disney live action remakes, this is another one of the worst. Look, I mean, I knew it was going to be bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but this is just such a drab, unnecessarily dark and boring remake of the original story. Jude Law as Captain Hook was fine. I mean, he did his best. Been a while since I've seen this movie, so bear with me on the details. The kids are okay, although the kid that plays Peter is so bad. The Lost Boys and Wendy, they're great, but Peter is awful. He is such a miscast here. I don't know why they cast him in this film. He's the most boring, bland thing ever. Neverland just looks like a bland cliff. There's no magical design in this film at all. It again, the cinematography is awful. It's so drab. It's boring to look at. I mean, it looks like the cliffs at Dorset. I mean, it's a nice location, but the color grading could have been so much better. And the Lost Boys' home was like an old house that was just covered in vegetation. It wasn't right. It just didn't feel like it belonged in this universe. And again, I was so bored. I was just so bored with this film. I don't remember much about it. I don't think the original from the 50s is actually perfect. And, hear me out on this. I don't think it's perfect, and it is quite dated now. But I would rather choose that over this any day of the week. This is a mess. Please skip it. It's awful. It doesn't do anything to enhance the story. Heck, it doesn't even tell its own story. So, there we are. But that's my choice for number 5. Okay, so coming in at number 4 is Fast X, or Fast 10. I've only seen about 3 or 4 installments of Fast and Furious. I respect the fans who like them, they're fine, but this one was just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what the hell they think when they write this script, but it feels like, let's just write the biggest and the best stunts that we can, and the story is non-existent, and that's what it was. It was just a bland, boring, forgettable movie. There's no logic to these action sequences. These are probably the most over-the-top action sequences you will ever see in a movie, and to the point where it's laughably bad and ridiculous. And they end on this kind of weird cliffhanger. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was just ridiculous. And some of the things that happen to cars in this film are, it's a bit like Transformers with Michael Bay. It's so over the top that you can't really take it seriously. Not that these are meant to be taken seriously, but it looks like the cast are getting tired of this now as well. They're there for the paycheck, and good for them for earning their money, but no one is interested anymore. It's just, it feels like it's so tired. I haven't even seen all the series, and I know that it's tired. You just won't get anything out of this. If you're a die-hard fan of this series, it's the only reason to see it for completion's sake. But honestly, there's really not much point. I mean, Jason Momoa's in it, and from what I remember, he was very over the top. So, yeah, there's not much that I can really say other than family, 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 as Vin Diesel would say. So, yeah, if you want to spend time with your family, then don't watch this film. There's many other ways to to spend time with your family, and this is not a series about family. It's It doesn't know what it's about anymore. Oh dear. Okay. So number three is surprisingly, I thought this was going to be a bit higher on the list, but actually it's not. It's the Little Mermaid remake. So another Disney live action remake, but this one, yeah, it once again falls into the same pattern of it's a 2 hour long mess of the same story that the original told, and it's just a pointless filler movie. It's dragged out to 2 hours 15 minutes, and just for the sake of making changes, it makes changes. That's all I can say. And Awkwafina as Scuttle was the worst thing. Oh god, that stupid song that she sings, or the rap song, whatever it was, the Scuttlebutt song or something. Um, just annoying. Awkwafina just annoys me sometimes. She's in everything, like, and she plays herself. Like she just plays herself in everything. But Halle Bailey, I'll give credit to her. She's very good as Ariel, and her singing is incredible. And the love story is given a little bit more attention, and Eric is a bit more developed. Those are the pluses, but the rest of it, it's drab, it's boring, it's dull. The underwater scenes, oh my god, the underwater stuff looks like a PS3 game. I mean, if you want good underwater scenes, watch Avatar: The Way of Water. And I think that was the movie's kind of unfortunate drawback, was that it came out after Avatar 2, where you're never going to see better underwater graphics. And I'm afraid that we've come to this. It's just so hard to like buy into this world underwater. In the animation, it was, you can exaggerate things, and they actually made it look more realistic and dark underwater than they do in this one. It just like it doesn't even look as good as Finding Nemo, and that film came out over 20 years ago. That's bad. That's really bad. And again, Melissa McCarthy is Ursula. Oh, she tries, but I just you can't beat Pat Carroll. You just can't. It's and there's nothing to say. I'm not going to go on rabbiting on about it. I will just say that watch it for Halle Bailey because she deserves the praise and the recognition. She barely keeps this afloat. No pun intended. But the rest of it is just dull, so boring. It's not the worst one, but it's not the best one either. And the guy that voices Sebastian, oh dude, what was that Jamaican accent? What the hell was that? But there are two more that I personally feel are a little bit worse. So, number two, you knew this was coming. You just knew this one was going to be here. It's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or as I call it, Indiana and his old bag of bones. My god, who asked for this fucking shit? No one. I mean, they actually did it. They actually traveled in time. Like, what? You thought the aliens in Crystal Skull were stupid, but fuck me. This is a new low. That's when you know you've jumped the shark and you've lost the plot here. The story is so ridiculous. Like, time travel? Really? We're really gonna do this? It's just so boring, and it's long, and it's just so past it by this point. Like India's past it. He's 80 years old in this film. And because of that, they compensate with the action scenes. He has to ride a horse or he has to drive a car. He barely swings any punches, and it's so dull to watch. And this film is so unnecessarily long and baggy, and the Nazis are back again. Oh, the only good scene in this film is the opening, when we have that massive train sequence. That scene is great. That felt like the original trilogy. The rest of it was boring. It just lost all momentum after that. When he's an old man and he goes on this adventure with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, you just don't care about it. You don't care, and he's this boring, depressed, grumpy old man. And the fact that he's split from Marion, I didn't like either. Although they did kill off Shia LaBeouf for reasons. But again, what was the point of this film other than to make some bucks? It just had it was so empty, so hollow. Just the worst of the Indiana Jones movies, and just darn right ridiculous when we get to the third act. And that ending, I didn't talk about it much in the review, but basically the ending was a waste. He was going to die. They were going to kill him off, but no. Phoebe Waller-Bridge had to punch him and bring him back to his home. And then he was reunited with Marion, which was quite nice. So it ended on a sort of bittersweet note. But I think you should have had the balls to kill him. I think if you'd have killed him off, it would have been quite powerful. But I don't know. They probably thought it, like No Time to Die, it would have sort of divided people. But I think they should have been brave. But you can tell that there was some rewrites here. Honestly, Indiana Jones felt complete as a trilogy. It really didn't need to be 5 movies. The last 2 are totally irrelevant. Although this one makes Crystal Skull look like a masterpiece. So yeah, I just I just didn't see the point. I called it. I knew it was going to be a train wreck, and it was. It was. Aside the opening, which the de-aging is good, I'll give it that. But this is just such a joyless, soulless experience. Harrison, I thank you for being Indiana Jones. I get that you love the character, and thank you for your hard work in the role. But the fact is, the last two were made too late. If you wanted to make Indiana Jones 4 and 5, you should have made them in the 90s. That's the truth of it. You should have made them in the 90s, but oh well, never mind. There was, however, one film that was much worse than this, and that was The Flash. Sorry, DC fanboys, I hated this film. This film was a mess. It was so convoluted, so boring, and Ezra Miller. Well, watching two versions of Ezra Miller was a bit too difficult to stomach for me, and especially with the controversy of after Fantastic Beasts of all of that. So yeah, I'm kind of not a fan of this film. I mean, the action doesn't do anything for me. It's long, it's boring, it's incoherent, it's messy. The visuals are all right, I suppose, but beyond that, I really don't remember this film. It's so forgettable, and I can't stand the lead. I just think he's. I just think it's difficult to watch two versions of him. I don't think he can carry this film on his own, especially at the time it was released. I don't think he could have carried it. And for me, it was the most insufferable movie of last year. So if you want to hear my full thoughts, go and watch the rant. So that's my list for the top 5 worst of 2023. So just to recap, number 5 was Peter Pan and Wendy. Number 4 was Fast X. 3, The Little Mermaid remake. 2, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And then 1 was The Flash. But this is, of course, my personal list, so I'd love to know what your list is. What do you think? Please comment down below, let me know. And stay tuned very soon when I do my top 5 best and worst of 2024. So until then, I'm Pajak's Perspective. See you soon, and bye for now.